Hey babes, my name is Tori, and this is the Horror Babe Podcast, episode 5. And like I told you yesterday, we are doing Jeepers Creepers 2. Now, I will say that I am usually finicky with sequels and remakes and reboots, but Jeepers Creepers 2, I love this movie as much as I love the first one. 5 stars. Like, I love this movie bad. It gets just as much replay time as the first movie. This one was also written and directed by Victor Salva, produced by Tom Luse, starring Ray Wise and Jonathan Breck. Release date was August 29th, 2003. Runtime for this one is 104 minutes, so it was slightly longer than the first one. This one, listen, so this came out in 2003, and so I was, let's see, 12, let's see, 2001, 2, 3, yeah, I was about 12, I was in middle school, and in 8th grade, I'm from Michigan, and something that my elementary middle school used to do would be like the 8th grade class would go on a field trip to Ohio to go to Cedar Point. And I was totally fine on the way there. That was like my first time going to another state, I believe. Being that far away, like by myself from my family. I'm just with a bunch of my classmates, a random school bus driver, and some teachers. Like, at first I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. Went to Cedar Point, had a great time. But then on the way back, it's dark outside. And if you've been to Ohio, you know that there's not shit in Ohio. And like just going like on the way home, all I could think about was our school bus being attacked by the creeper because of this movie. So you could say that I was a little traumatized back then, but this is still a movie that I watch repeatedly. I fall asleep to this movie as well. I have issues. That is not new. But in the first one, we find out that the creeper, like every 23rd spring, he gets to eat for 23 days. And so this movie is set a few days after the first one. And in the beginning, I feel like it really sets the tone for the rest of the movie that like the creeper is just, he no holds barred. First of all, I feel like this movie also shows a lot more of the creeper's personality. Like, I feel like in the first one, we saw just like, I don't want to say how vicious, because like in the first one, okay, yeah, he killed the cops, and a couple of the guys at the prison, a couple of cops, and it's like, yeah, but it didn't really do too much. And this is my opinion. Like, it wasn't enough to me. Like, we saw a lot, not a lot. We saw a decent amount of who he was in the first movie, but I feel like we saw way more of him in the second movie. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but the beginning, I just think that him pretending to be a scarecrow was just, I don't know. I feel like that was just nuts. Like, that was just nuts to me. But also him killing that child, I feel like it kind of just set the tone, because it's like, oh, so he goes after anybody. He goes after everybody, whoever smells the best to him, whoever smells the most delicious to him, whatever he smells that they have, that he thinks that he needs that, he's going to get that, and he doesn't care who it is. And that is just nuts. So then you get to the kids on the bus, and they're having a good old time. They just won, their state championship or whatever. Boom. And then the tire blows out. And then they find, which apparently is called a shuriken. I had to Google what that was. It is a hand-hidden blade. It is a Japanese concealed weapon that is used by samurais or ninjas in martial arts. And I think that is a little fascinating because I didn't know that. But that is embedded in the back tire. And of course, the coaches, they get out and they're looking at it. They're like, the fuck is this? And they're like, yeah, let's just toss it away, see if we can get some help out here. They couldn't. And then they just proceed to, they drive slow, try to still get home or whatever. But what I think should have happened, because I don't think that they could reach anybody on the radio. I feel like even though they couldn't reach anybody on the radio at the time, I think that they should have kept trying, like maybe every 30, 45 minutes or so. I feel like they still should have been trying to reach out like just in case something else happened to the tire. Just in case they wouldn't have been able to continue, they still could have had someone meet them, like in the direction that they were going. I don't know. It's just, ugh. And what bothered me, was, we always say like, oh, the Black people are always the first to go in the horror movies. Now, technically, Billy, the child who got snatched up in the beginning, technically he was the first one to go, but I was still mad that the coach got snatched up. Now, snatching him up like that, like I just feel like the creeper was just like, you know what, this is my last day. I'm just gonna come and fuck up everybody's night. But before I do that, I'm gonna have some fun with it. I feel like he was just having fun the whole night. Like, I don't think he really got irritated until like the end, because he's like, oh fuck, they actually fighting back. But like, he was just messing with them, because why would you snatch the coach up like that for that flare to hit the ground and then everybody's looking like, yo, what the fuck just happened? Then to do that same thing to the lady coach, you snatch her right on up, and now y'all looking at I don't know his name. Now y'all looking at homie like, well, what happened? And he's like, she flew away. And of course they're like, the fuck you mean she flew away? And then you got the last coach who got snatched up, and now everybody is like freaking the fuck out. But then the thing is, like, the creeper leaves them there for, I don't even remember how long, but he leaves them alone for a little while, to the point where they're like, maybe we should, well, first of all, only one of them was thinking about getting off that bus, which was stupid. And I can't remember his name. Scotty. Bitch ass Scotty. First of all, I don't know why Scotty thought that he was just in charge of everything all of a sudden. First of all, he's like, oh, we should make a run for the barn or whatever that's out there, the farm, whatever. But my thing is, what makes you think that you're going to be safer there than you are in the bus? Because I feel like the bus actually did kind of like, yeah, the creeper trapped them in there, but I feel like it was still like some sort of protection. It was a good enough barrier for the time being. until Jack showed up, to shoot him with his homemade harpoon. But man, when I tell you the creeper wanted homie with the glasses, was it Bucky? Oh my God. The creeper wanted him bad. And that's another thing when I said like this movie was showing a lot of the creeper's personality, because when he showed himself to them and he was like picking people out, like his little hand movements, his gestures, the facial expressions, I'm just like, who who taught you this? Like, why do you have personality? Like, are you the only one of your kind? Are there other people? Are there other beings like you? Where did you learn all of this? I don't know. I just thought it was weird. But yeah, no, if he was picking my ass out, look, I feel like I would have just been passed out the whole time from shock. I would have just died from shock, because how do you even experience something like that? And like, no, my fight or flight would not have kicked in. I would have just died right there from a heart attack. Absolutely not. But they tried to fight back a little bit. I mean, like, the javelin that they stuck in his head, but then he ripped that off, stole the other guy's head, which was nuts. I, uh, I really, I'm happy Scotty died, and I know like some people might think that that's bad, but like, look, horror movies need death. This movie had a lot of death, and Scotty was a deserved one. Did I actually think that it would have happened? No, because like the assholes don't always get got, but he needed to, and I was happy that he did. Now I am mad that D ended up trying to go help him. He didn't have to do that, because like, I mean, the creeper was after his ass too. I would have left homie on his own. I'm sorry, not sorry. I would have left Scotty to fend for himself, hands down. He was talking all big and bad, like, oh, I think everybody that the creeper picked out should get off the bus. Bitch, that means you too, Scotty. You gotta leave too. You think you about to stay on the bus? Picked you out too. What makes you special? Like, that was pissing me off. But uh, it's something funny happened, because I've watched this movie 1,000 times. And it might have been either earlier this year or the end of last year when I had finally noticed something. Because if you remember, it was Izzy, D, and what's the other girl's name? Rhonda. When they all got into the pickup truck and they were like racing away from the creeper, and Izzy tells Rhonda to get out, and he pushes her out of the truck. So it's just Izzy and D. And, he slams on the brakes, and the creeper flies through both windshields of the truck, and the truck flips over. And, like, a few, I don't know how, because I don't think it was like minutes, but like a minute after the crash or whatever, the truck explodes. And for the longest time, I always wondered what happened to Izzy, because we know that the creeper went after D right after, without an arm, without a leg, and without a wing. He went right after D still. And I was always like, hold on, what happened to Izzy? Until finally, I'm like paying attention, and I actually see Izzy crawling away from the truck. And I'm so mad that it took me that long to even notice that. Like, with the amount of times that I've seen this movie, I'm ashamed that it took me that long to notice that. But The creeper, I feel like he was just trying to go out with a bang. He was being greedy. Like, I wonder if it's kind of like, you know how bears, before they go into hibernation, like they, what is it? Do they like overeat? Like they just eat a bunch to like insulate their bodies with fat or whatever before they like hibernate or something like that. Was that what the creeper was doing? Because he was going to be like, quote unquote, dead for 23 years. But like, where does he go when he's gone for those 23 years? But see, thinking that takes me back to the first movie because now I have questions. Because we know it's every 23rd spring, but in the first movie, when Derry was in the basement of the church and he was looking at those hundreds of bodies that were all over the walls and the ceiling, and we know that that couple that it went missing, their bodies were there, and I can't remember what year their class ring was. I don't know, was it the 70s or something? But like, if that's the case, so the church, that was the creeper's place, but you're telling me that like, but you're telling me that no one ever, just drove past that church and was like, hey, what's over here? Like, it's abandoned. Let's check it out. Because, people are stupid. But like the 23 years that, he's not at the church, who is and where's the van? And how long has he had the van? Well, we don't see the van in the second movie, but I have questions. I have so many questions, and I hate being so analytical when it comes to things like this, but I can't help it. But I don't know. Because, like, like, at the end of the movie, like, we saw Minxie tell Jack, like, he's not dead, his time just ran out. And, he proceeds to curl in upon himself. You know how, like, when bugs die, like spiders or roaches, like they die and their legs just like curl in on themselves. Like that's kind of what happened to the creeper at the end of this movie. And at the end, it kind of like flash forwards another 23 years, which happened to be 2024. And we see that Jack has the creeper like basically hung up on the wall, and he's sitting there ready, just waiting for when the creeper comes back alive. I need to see the transformation because he was sitting up there dry and dusty. So what is the rejuvenation process? Like, does he come back with every feeding? Like, the Mummy with Brendan Fraser, like when Emotep, how he was like regenerating with every person that he went after. Like, is that how the creeper regenerates? I need answers. Yeah, I don't know. I will say that those kids did good trying to survive. Like, the creeper did take out a good few of them, but couldn't have been me. I would have been dead from a heart attack. But yeah, I don't know which movie I'm going to do tomorrow. Might pull it out of a hat, but I think this is a good one. And if you listen to this without watching the movie, shame, go do that. Okay? Okay. Bye.